Good morning, students. Welcome to RPS Group of Schools online classes of science. Students, today we will be continuing with the chapter of biology, the cell module 2. Earlier in module 1, we discussed the cell and its discovery. In this module 2, we will study that all organisms made up of cells vary in shape and size according to the function it performs. Children, as we know, cells are microscopic. That is, cells are so tiny that they are not visible to unaided eye. Then, how do scientists observe and study the living cells? They use microscopes which magnify the objects. Discovery of the cell is linked with the invention of a microscope. The detailed structure of a cell and functions of its various parts were discovered only after the invention of electron microscope and compound microscope. Certain structures can be seen only under an electron microscope. The structure of a cell as seen under an electron microscope is called ultrastructure. The magnification of compound microscope is 2000 times, and the magnification of an electron microscope is around 5 lakh times. Therefore, the cells are studied in detail with the help of a microscope by the process of staining. Students, to differentiate and identify various parts of cells, the cells are colored with some dye. The dye is called the stain, and the process of coloring the cell is called staining. The stained cells are mounted on a cleaned slide and observed under the microscope. Cytology, study of cells as fundamental units of living things, is called cytology. It is a branch of science which deals with the structural and functional organization of cell. It is also known as cell biology. To study the structure of a cell, their functions, compositions, and the interaction of cells with other cells, and environment in which they exist, is known as cytology. Organisms show variation. Cells are the lowest level of organization in every life form. From organism to organism, the count of the cell may vary. According to the number of cells, organisms can be unicellular or multicellular. If an organism is made up of a single cell, it is called a unicellular organism. A unicellular organism is capable of performing all the necessary activities that is required to sustain life, like digestion, excretion, respiration, reproduction, growth, etc. Unicellular organisms are generally microscopic in nature. Examples are Paramecium, Amoeba, yeast, bacteria, etc. Let's study about amoeba. Amoeba is a unicellular organism that has the ability to change its shape. Amoeba is a protista and fall under eukaryotes as they possess true nucleus. Movement occurs through pseudopodia where cytoplasm pushes the plasma membrane outward or inward, creating finger-like projections. The process of reproduction is through asexual means called binary fission. Let's talk about another unicellular organism, that is Paramecium. Paramecium is a unicellular ciliated protozoa. They possess thousands of cilia covering their body. They are found in freshwater, marine, and brackish water. Reproduction is primarily through asexual means by binary fission. They are slipper-shaped. The cellular cytoplasm is enclosed in a pellicle. Organisms show variations according to the cell number. Another type of organism is multicellular organisms. These are made of more than one cell and are complex organisms. They are visible to the unaided eye. They possess distinct organs and organ systems. Multicellular organisms are eukaryotes, that is, they contain membrane-bound structures. These organisms exhibit division of labor. Their size increases with the number of cells in an organism. Following are the important examples of multicellular organisms. Humans, dogs, cows, cats, chicken, trees, horse, etc. are the examples of multicellular organisms. Organisms show variations based on the shape of the cells. As just you have seen, amoeba, which is a single-celled organism, does not have a definite shape. Its shape keeps changing as it moves or feeds, protruding parts of its body to form pseudopodia. Even humans have millions of cells, such as white blood cells found in the blood, cells that make up muscles, cells that form nerves. Their shapes vary according to the functions they perform. Most cells are round, oval, spherical, or elongated. Some are spindle-shaped, which are long and pointed at both ends. Nerve cells or neurons are quite long and are branched out to receive and transfer messages. Shapes of the cells are maintained by a covering called cell membrane or plasma membrane. Bacterial cells and plant cells have an additional rigid covering called a cell wall. Let's find some cells that are found in human beings. RBCs and WBCs. Red blood cells are biconcave, flat, round, small, and without nucleus in human beings, also known as erythrocytes. Red blood cells contain the iron-rich protein called hemoglobin and give red color to the blood. RBCs are produced in bone marrows. Their main function is to transport oxygen to various tissues and organs. Similarly, white blood cells, called leukocytes, are irregular in shape and colorless blood cells. WBC mainly contribute to immunity and defense mechanism. White blood cells are responsible for fighting foreign pathogens like bacteria, virus, fungi that enter our body. They originate from the bone marrow. Another cells are muscle cells. They are specially adapted for movement. Muscle cells are spindle-shaped, which are long and pointed at both ends. The muscles can contract and relax. When the muscles contract, they shorten in length. So, the contraction of muscle cells moves the body part. When these contracted muscle cells relax, they expand so that the body part comes back to its original position. Muscle cells bring about movement of body parts by contracting and relaxing. Nerve cells. These cells are the smallest functional unit of the nervous system. Nerve cells are usually shaped like trees. They are long and thin that carries electrical messages from the brain to the whole body, allowing the body to respond to stimuli. The nerve cells are long and have projections so that they can make contacts with many other nerve cells and carry messages over long distances. Since nerve cells receive and transfer messages, they help to control and coordinate the working of different parts of a body. Sperm cells. These are reproductive cells. They need to swim long distances in order to reach an egg for fertilization. Thus, these cells are the only cell found in human beings, especially in men, that has flagella, that is a tail-like structure. Let's discuss some of the cells that are found in plants. Xylem cells are the tube-like plant having thick and strong walls which carry water and mineral salt from the roots of the plant to its leaves. Similarly, phloem cells are also tube-like plant cells having thin walls which carry the food made by leaves to all parts of the plant. Mesophyll cells of leaf are the photosynthetic plant cells. These cells in a leaf of a plant are specially adapted for making food by the process of photosynthesis. Guard cells. These are kidney-shaped cells that help in opening and closing of stomatal aperture. The organisms have variation based on the size of the cells. The cell's size in living organisms may be as small as a millionth of a meter, also called micrometer or micron, or maybe as large as a few centimeters. Most of the cells are microscopic in size and are not visible to the unaided eye. They need to be enlarged or magnified by a microscope to view a cell. The size of the cells has no relation with the size of the body of the animal or plant. The smallest cell is 0.1 to 0.5 micron in bacteria, called mycoplasma. The largest cell measuring 170 millimeter into 130 millimeter, which is the egg of an ostrich. The average cell size varies from 0.5 micron to 20 micron in diameter. In our body, blood cells are the smallest and nerve cells are the longest cells, which approximately ranges from 90 centimeter or more. The size of cells has no relation with the size of animal or plant body. It means that the cells in an elephant or a whale are not much bigger than those of a rat or a man. With this, we end up module 2. We'll join you soon with another module. Till then, take care of yourself, students. Goodbye. Thank you.